Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to tackle about Jory into Light, from Rizal's first journey to Europe up to his first homecoming. But first, let me introduce myself. So my name is Michelle Ann Langit from BS Ed 2G. The Jory into Light, from Rizal's first journey to Europe up to his first homecoming. While Rizal is in Spain, after Jose Rizal's fourth year in medical studies into Santo Tomas, the University of Higher Learning in the Philippines, whom Rizal was disgusted of its primitive method of instruction and the racial prejudice of Dominican professors against Filipino students. He was brought to realization that pursuing further studies abroad will be much better. During that time, the government of Spain was constitutional monarchy where human rights were protected and considered, specifically freedom of speech, of press, and of assembly, that were all denied in the Philippines. Such atmosphere of freedom lured Jose Rizal to travel to Spain not only to study but also to carry out his secret mission that he long been conceived with the approval of his brother Pasiano. His secret mission is to observe keenly the life and culture, languages and customs, industries and commerce, and governments and laws of the European nations in order to prepare himself in the mighty task of liberating his oppressed people from Spanish tyranny. Rizal's journey for Spain. The departure of Jose Rizal for Spain was kept secret from Spanish authorities, friars, and even to his parents, especially to his mother, because she would not allow him to go. Only a handful of family members and trusted family members were informed. In order to avoid detection, he used the name Jose Mercado, name of his cousin in Calamba. Before his departure, he scribbled farewell letters to his parents and his sweetheart Leonor Rivera. On May 3, 1882, he boarded on Salvador bound for Singapore. He was the only Filipino passenger. The captain of the ship, Donato Lecha from Austria, Spain, befriended him, although some Spaniards who spoke ill of the Philippines peeved him. To while away his boredom, he played chess and always came out victorious. He was truly a good chess player. They landed on Singapore on May 9 and registered to Hotel de la Paz and spent a couple of days sightseeing. Rizal studies completed in Spain. He was conferred the degree of licentiate in medicine by the Universidad Central de Madrid on June 21, 1884. The next academic year, he studied at and passed all subjects leading to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. However, he did not submit the thesis required for graduation nor pay the corresponding fees. He was not awarded his doctor's diploma. Jose Rizal also finished his studies in philosophy and letters with higher grades. He was awarded the degree of licentiate in philosophy and letters by the Universidad Central de Madrid on June 19, 1885, his 24th birthday. With the rating of excellent, Rizal faced financial problems after 2 years in Madrid due to locust invasions and droughts that destroyed the farms back home. His monthly allowances were late and there are times where they did not even arrive at all. He was also popular in Madrid and on one occasion was invited as a guest speaker in a banquet held in honor of Juan Luna and Felix R. Hidalgo, sponsored by the Filipino community to celebrate the victory of their first and second prizes in a National Fine Arts Exposition. A part of his speech goes, "I drink to the health of our artists, Luna and Hidalgo, legitimate and pure glories of two peoples. I drink to the health of the persons who have lent them a helping hand on the dolorous path of art. I drink to the health of Filipino youth, sacred hope of my native land, that may imitate such precious examples so that Mother Spain, solicitous and heedful of the welfare of her provinces, implement soon the reforms she has contemplated for a long time. The furrow is ready and the ground is not sterile. And I drink finally for the happiness of those parents who deprive of the tenderness of their children from those distant regions, follow them with moist eyes and palpitating heart across seas and space, sacrificing on the altar of the common welfare the sweet consolations that are so scarce in the twilight of life, precious and lonely winter, flowers that sprout along the snow-white borders of the grave. Here he gave a speech which was applauded and greeted with ovations. The speech showed his already developing spirit of nationalism. Rizal later soon after received the degree of licentiate in medicine and continued working in the degree of Doctor of Medicine. He then traveled to Berlin where his first novel, Noli Me Tangere or Noli Me Tangere, was printed with the help of a rich friend, Dr. Maximo Viola. After publishing Noli Me Tangere or Noli Me Tangere with the assistance of his rich friend, Dr. Maximo Viola, the novel was praised by friends but caused the attention of his enemies who condemned it as expected. Rizal even stated, "The government and the friars will probably attack the work, refuting my statements, but I trust in the God of truth and in the persons who have actually seen our sufferings." Shortly after, Rizals finally met his close friend and longtime writing companion, Dr. Blumentritt, at a railroad station in Czechoslovakia for the first time. After 5 years in Europe, Jose Rizal finally left for his hometown, Calamba. He wanted to live a peaceful life as a doctor, but because of his novel, friars were enraged. enraged. He came home disregarding Paciano's warning and that of his friend Blumentritt. Rizal came back home for three reasons. First is to operate his mother's eyes. Second is to find out firsthand how his novel affected the country. And the last one is to determine the cause of Leonor Rivera's silence. For Rizal's first homecoming, he decided to return home because of the publication of the Noli Me Tangere and the uproar it caused among the friars. Rizal was warned by Paciano, his brother, Silvestre Ubaldo, his brother-in-law, Chengoy, Jose M. Cecilio, and other friends to return home. He has his own reasons for going home. First, to operate on his mother's eyes. Second, Oh, let me correct that. He has four reasons for going home. First, to operate his mother's eyes. Second, to serve his people who had long been oppressed by the Spanish tyrants. Fourth, to find out for himself how the Noli and his other writings were affecting the Filipinos and Spaniards in the Philippines. The last one is to inquire why Leonor Rivera remained silent. In June 29, year 1887, in Rome, Rizal wrote to his father announcing his homecoming. Rizal delightful trip to Manila. On July 3, 1887, he boarded the steamer Di Gemna, the same steamer which brought him to Europe 5 years ago. There were about 50 passengers, including 4 Englishmen, 2 Germans, 3 Chinese, 2 Japanese, many French, and 1 Filipino, and that is Rizal. Rizal's arrival in Manila at the month of August and the date of 5, the Hiap Hong arrived in Manila. He stayed in the city for a short time. He found Manila the same as when he left in 5 years ago. Rizal homecoming to Calamba. On August 8, he returned to Calamba. His family welcomed him affectionately with plentiful tears of joy. His family became worried about his safety. Pasiano did not leave him to protect him from any enemy assault. In Calamba, Rizal established a medical clinic. His first patient was his mother, who was almost blind. News of the arrival of a great doctor from Germany spread far and wide. Patients from Manila and other provinces flocked to Calamba. Uliman because he came from Germany. Within a few months, he was able to earn 900 pesos as a physician. By February 1888, he earned a total of 5,000 as medical fees. Rizal did not selfishly devote all time to enriching himself. He opened a gymnasium for young folks and introduced European sports. He failed to see Leonora Rivera. Leonora's mother did not like him to be son-in-law. Noli effects. Few weeks after his arrival, Rizal received a letter from Governor General Emilio Terrero requesting him to come to Malacañang Palace. When Governor General Terrero informed him of the charge, he denied it, explaining that he merely exposed the truth, but that did not advocate subversive ideas. Governor General Terrero was pleased by Rizal's explanation and curious about his book, and he asked the author to have a copy of the Noli so that he could read it. For security measures, he assigned a young Spanish lieutenant, Don Jose Taviel de Andrade, as bodyguard of Rizal. Rizal's enemies were powerful. The Archbishop of Manila, Messenger Pedro Payo, sent a copy of the Noli to Father Rector Gregorio Echavarria of the University of Santo Tomas for examination by a committee of the faculty. The report of the faculty members of UST. The findings of the report stated Noli was heretical, impious, and scandalous in the religious order, and anti-patriotic, subversive of public order, injurious to the government of Spain and its function in the Philippine island in the political order. In response, Governor General Terrero was dissatisfied with the report of the Dominicans. He sent the novel to the Permanent Commission of Censorship. The report of this commission was drafted by its head, Fr. Salvador Font, Augustinian Cura of Tondo, and submitted to Governor General on December 29. The report said it found the novel to contain subversive ideas against the Church and Spain, and recommended that the importation, reproduction, and circulation of this pernicious book in the island be absolutely prohibited. However, the banning of Noli only served to make it popular. Everybody wanted to read it. News about the great book spread among the masses. Despite the government prohibition and the vigilance of the cruel Guardia Civil, many Filipinos were able to get hold of copies of the Noli, which they read at night behind closed door. The critics of Noli, Father Font, printed his report and distributed copies of it in order to discredit to the controversial novel. Father Jose Rodriguez, prior of Guadalupe, published a series of 8 pamphlets under the general heading Questions de Sumo Interest, questions, or in English, questions of supreme interest, to blast the Noli and other anti-Spanish writings. There are 8 pamphlets. First, Porque no los hides leer? Why, in English, why should I not read them? Second, Guardos de ellos? Porque? Be aware of them. Why? Third, ¿Y qué me dais usted de la peste? In English, and what can you tell me of plague? Porque triunfan los impios? The translate of it in English is, why do the impios triumph? Fifth, cree usted que de versa no hay purgatorio? Do you think there is really no purgatory? Hay o no hay infierno? Is there or is there no hell? Quele paris usted de esos libelos? What do you think of these libels? Confession o condemnation? Confession or damnation? Cuff anti-Rizal pamphlets were sold daily in the churches. Many Filipinos were forced to buy them in order not to displease the friars. The storm over the Noli reached Spain. It was attacked on the session hall of the Senate of the Spanish Cortes by various senators, particularly General Jose de Salamanca, General Luis M. Pando, and Fernando Vida. The defenders of Noli was Marcelo H. del Pilar, Dr. Antonio Marigidor, Graciano Lopez Haina, Mariano Ponce, and other Filipino reformists in foreign lands rushed to uphold the truth of the novel. Father Sanchez, Rizal's favorite teacher in Ateneo, defended the praise in public. A brilliant defense of the Noli came from an unexpected source. Rev. Vicente Garcia, writing under the pen name Justo Desiderio Magalang, wrote a defense of the Noli which was published in Singapore as an appendix to a pamphlet dated July 18 in year 1888. When Rizal learned of the brilliant defense of Father Garcia of his novel, he cried because his gratitude was overwhelming. Rizal and Taviel de Andrade, Governor General Terrario assigned Jose Taviel de Andrade as Rizal's bodyguard. Rizal and Andrade, both young, educated, and cultured, made walking tours of the verdant countryside, discussed topics of common interest, and enjoyed fencing, shooting, and painting. The unhappy days of Rizal in Calamba, the death of his older sister Olympia, and the second one is the groundless tales circulated by his enemies that he was a German spy, a Protestant, a Mason, and a witch, a soul beyond salvation, etc. Rizal farewell to Calamba. The friars exerted pressure on Malacañang Palace to eliminate Rizal. They asked Governor General Terrario to deport Rizal, but he refused because there was no charge against Rizal in court. Anonymous threats against Rizal's life were received by his parents. The alarmed parents, relatives, and friends advised him to leave the Philippines for his life was in danger. Rizal was compelled to leave Calamba for two reasons. First, his presence in Calamba was jeopardizing the safety and happiness of his family and friends. The second one is he could fight better his enemies and serve his country's cause with greater efficacy by writing in foreign countries. That's the end of our discussion. Thank you.